Game one of the Western Conference Finals is tonight in Oklahoma City. The Spurs storm into OKC after eliminating Minnesota in 6 games in the conference semis. San Antonio is in the conference finals for the first time since 2017. The Thunder had an easier time in their series, sweeping a Lakers team missing Luka Doncic. OKC is making consecutive conference finals appearances for the first time since 2011-2012. And youth will be served in this series. This will be the first conference finals where the two teams combine for an average age under 26 since conferences were created in the 1970-71 season. We've got this game covered from both sides. Michael C. Wright is with the Spurs, and Tim MacMahon is with the Thunder. Michael, let us start with you. San Antonio won the regular season series with OKC, taking 4 of 5 games. What are they saying about their ability to continue that dominance here in the postseason?
Well, you remember that little stretch they had where they beat OKC 3 times over a span of 12 days. Mm-hmm. Well, that feels like it feels like a lifetime ago. So going into this, the Spurs know exactly what they're facing against the defending champs. They're confident, yes, but Spurs coach Mitch Johnson made it a point to point out the fact that Oklahoma City has not lost a game yet in these playoffs. So as confident as they are, he said that, look, we have to go in here with the appropriate fear, which is something that former Spurs coach Greg Popovich talked about a long time ago. So they know what they're up against, and they are handling it the right way.
Question about the big man. What is Victor Wembanyama saying about the magnitude of this series?
Well, Victor is a guy that his whole career in San Antonio, he's talked about wanting to play meaningful basketball. So you go to the NBA Cup championship back in December. So that was the most meaningful basketball he had played up to that point. And then you fast forward to March. They beat the Detroit Pistons and the LA Clippers in the back-to-back game. And Wemby said that was the most meaningful 30 hours of basketball in his life. So all of those experiences have sort of culminated into this. Vic said that all his life he's heard the word conference finals. He said it's extra special now that he's actually in one.
Thunder, by the way, 6.5-point favorites in game one. Michael C. Wright, thank you very much. Let's go over to Hannah.
And reporter Tim MacMahon is right there covering the Thunder. So howdy, Tim. We know that Jalen Williams is good to go. His first playoff game since April 22nd. But what questions remain?
Howdy, Hannah. I ran into Mark Dagnall, Thunder's coach, while I was lurking in the parking lot waiting on an Uber outside their practice facility. And I said, hey, is Dub starting tonight? And a brilliant coach did a really good job of playing dumb. He said, geez, I don't know. But is he starting? Coming back off this hamstring injury. He has started every game he's played since early in his rookie year, including when he came back from injury this year. But then if Jalen Williams is in the starting lineup, does A.J. Mitchell, one of the stars of the second round, go back to the bench? Do they go small and pull Isaiah Hartenstein like they did to start the NBA Finals last season? So those are questions that, as Dagnall said, I guess we'll find out tonight as far as what the answers are. Now, obviously, they're trying to figure out the best ways to attack Victor Wembanyama, and there's going to be even a little bit extra motivation for Wemby because pregame, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get the MVP trophy presented to him.
Yeah,
that is a trophy
there you
that
go.
Wemby made very clear. And Wemby made very clear he believed that trophy should belong to him. And so, I asked Shai about that last night, and Shai took it in stride. He understands and respects that Wemby feels that way. He says he's one of those extreme competitors in the league, and you have to be super confident to be shooting for the kind of goals that Wemby is in his career. But the vote is over. Shai's not interested in a debate. They're not playing one-on-one. He is very respectful of the challenges that Wemby presents. As he says, he presents things that you have never seen before.
So when you asked SGA that question, were you also lurking in the parking lot waiting for an Uber, or was that just the head coach?
No. I do know where Mark parks, so I know where to lurk. But no. SGA was Thunder PR approved.
Oh, okay.
The thing about Dagan, I can lurk all I want. He swats away my attempts to get little extra bits of intel like Wemby swats away layups. So I went as strong as I could, but it got swatted.
He knows where the benches are parked. Of course you do. To MacMahon, leaving no stone unturned. Love
The Magic, but was fired earlier this month after Orlando's first-round series loss to the Pistons. James Borrego served as New Orleans interim coach after Willie Green was fired in November. NBA Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 is set. We got the Knicks, we got the Cavaliers getting ready to rumble. Cleveland taking out Detroit last night. The Cavs' 31-point win was the third largest road win in a Game 7 in NBA playoff history. Only the 1948 Warriors and the 2022 Mavericks had larger wins. It is the first conference finals appearance for Donovan Mitchell, who has appeared in the NBA playoffs in each of his 9 seasons, but had yet to reach this round. NBA analyst Danny Green with us now. Danny, how did Donovan Mitchell and company so effectively close out the Pistons?
Man, they came in with the right mentality. I mean, it was a combination of two things. You know, Cleveland playing really well and Detroit playing very poorly. But it was the mindset, and it was Donovan Mitchell, the start of it. You know, he came in, distributed the ball very well, got guys involved like Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. They set the tone by being demonstrative and aggressive in the paint. And then you got guys like Sam Merrill knocking down shots. He had like 15 points in the first quarter. So they did it as a collective, but they came in with the right mindset. Donovan Mitchell was a true point guard in this game, was very effective, had a masterful, floor game and distributing, and also scoring at the same point where, these guys, they played so well that James Harden didn't have to have a great game. So they just came out with a different mentality. If they play like this, they have a decent chance against the New York Knicks. But before this, with the way they were playing, the style of play, and how they would turn it over, and on the road, I was not very confident in this group. But the way they played the other night, I'm pretty confident that they could, keep up with the New York Knicks.
You mentioned Detroit playing poorly. Cade Cunningham did not have his best game. 13 points, 0 for 7 from 3. What'd you make of his struggles in that moment?
Fatigue. I mean, coming back from a collapsed lung, playing end of the season, going 7 games with the Orlando Magic, and then having so much of a usage rate in this series as well. Like, they're throwing multiple bodies at him, double teams, traps. I know this is a learning lesson for him, so he'll go back this summer, watch film, and work on those things and not turn the ball over as much, be more aggressive and more assertive and more efficient. But ultimately, this came down to Cade being fatigued and not having enough help offensively. He had to carry too much of the load, is why he had no legs in that Game 7.
All right, we get Cavs now taking on the Knicks, while the Thunder have to get through the Spurs, which you think will be easier said than done. Why?
I mean, a lot of things are easier said than done, but this Spurs team ain't nothing to play with, especially with the fact that OKC hasn't been fully healthy most of this postseason. J-Dub is finally coming back, and that's going to be different for, A.J. Mitchell trying to figure out things. And also, Spurs are very deep. They have a lot of defensive guards that can guard out in the wings, and it's a different matchup. They have also not been prepared. They played against 2 teams that really didn't challenge them. So this is going to be kind of a culture shock. They've had a lot of time off. They could be rusty. But when you play against a Phoenix Suns team, then you play a Los Angeles Lakers team, then you run into a San Antonio Spurs team, which is a totally different defensive juggernaut, it can be quite a bit shocking. And again, this is a very deep team as well, so it's not going to be that easy to do.
And Thunder, by the way, just 1-4 against the Spurs this season. Danny Green, my man, thank you so much.